Alright, how's everybody going? My name is Glyphic, and today I want to talk about a no-guns flak build that I made that does every part of the game amazingly. It can boss well, it can mob well, and its survivability is actually fairly decent, especially for being a flak build where you don't have any health, because this is a deathless flak build. So the main piece of equipment that this build revolves around is the class mod, the Peregrine. So this reads whenever Fl4k hits an enemy, they would drop a grenade, and this has a short cooldown. I think it's around 3 seconds. So what this is going to do is every time you throw out your racks, they hit an enemy, creates a grenade, naturally. So a lot of grenades in this game are pretty bad, but the one grenade that does the absolute most damage, it does so much damage, is the Vindicator Ghast Call. And yes, I know people in the comments are going to bitch about, oh, it's a modded weapon. I don't care. It's just modded to have a different element and so that it has an anointment. It's not that big of a difference. I'm not ruining the game with a modded weapon. It's just a slight difference that makes the game a slight bit more fun to play. So if you don't want to mod weapons, then just use a corrosive one without an anointment. It doesn't change your damage all that much. So the Vindicator Ghast Call does a ton of damage, especially with the Peregrine equipped, and you can one-shot pretty much every enemy in the game that isn't a boss. And bosses only take like a few grenades extra to kill, and you just kill them super fast. I've done Gh0st on this build. The survivability is kind of bad in Gh0st's arena, but you can kill Gh0st very easily. It is a solid build. And so a couple things to boost your grenade damage is one, the Revolter with an action skill start anointment. So what this is going to do is whenever you activate your action skill, it's going to deplete your shield. And then on depleted, you become shock enraged, which gives you 200% bonus shock damage for 15 seconds, which is absolutely amazing because this affects not only weapons, but grenades, action skills, melee, everything. So because this affects grenades, this is going to make your gas call 200% stronger. And so another thing to boost your damage is by using the Guardian Angel. What the Guardian Angel does is it boosts, it says it boosts weapon damage based on distance, but it actually boosts all damage based on distance. And that's, again, like grenades, action skills, guns, everything. You can get up to 500% damage at, I think, 25 meters away. So, not that far away. And the boost is just so strong that it makes your grenades absolutely incredible. Yeah, a third thing that may boost your damage even more is the URAD anointment, which is, while under 50% health, deal 150% bonus radiation damage, and we're coupling that with a Deathless. You can just use any Deathless. The ones I prefer is a Last Stand Deathless or a Snowdrift Deathless. The Snowdrift Deathless doesn't really do much, but it's just nice for getting out of sticky situations, and the Last Stand Deathless just increases your survivability a bit by making you immune every 40 seconds for 5 seconds. And yeah, so for the skill trees, so what's good about this, so I have a lot of points spec'd into things like this, like Leave No Trace, which doesn't affect your racks at all, but the reason I do it is that when you go into fight for your life, you can't activate your action skill or throw grenades, so the one thing you're going to have to do is shoot, because if your pet is like dead or if it's not around, you're just going to have to shoot an enemy. So I like to use a URAD Light Show for this, just because it's like the strongest no BS weapon in the game. Like, it doesn't have any special gimmicks with it. It's just solid damage no matter what. So that's why I like to have that in my hand as well, just if I go into Fight for Your Life. But I never use it if I'm not in Fight for Your Life, just because my damage doesn't lack enough to use it. So that's why I have Leave No Traces for Fight for Your Life. Skill tree is pretty much, normal. There's nothing too special about it. I'm going just a little bit into Green Tree just to get Lick the Wounds, and I'm going into Blue Tree to get some more survivability, like specifically with Shared Spirit, up to 50% reduction in damage, because the damage you get from Green Tree isn't anything that affects your grenades, so you don't really need that, and it's just so many points to get down to the bottom. So that's why I'm speccing into Blue Tree. No points into Purple Tree. But yeah, get just like the basics in Blue Tree. You don't really need anything special. It's not that special of a skill tree. So also, if you want to replace the action skill start Revolter with an action skill start Frozen Snowshoe or Frozen Heart, it's going to reduce your damage by quite a bit, around 200%, but what you're going to get in return is hella survivability, because you'll just freeze every enemy, no one will be able to attack you, and it's amazing. And so, also, sometimes you will kill yourself with the Ghast Call, so for most mobbing, you're actually completely fine with, instead of using a Peregrine, using a rack pack, because that's going to just make your racks kill a bunch of enemies at once instead of just like one enemy. You can kill like groups of 6 enemies with one piece of, like with one throw of rack. And then you can switch out to any grenade if you don't feel like modding is your thing. You can just switch out to like anything else. Because yeah. And so I wouldn't recommend doing both of those, like doing the frozen snowshoe and doing the rack pack, because your racks aren't like exceptionally strong. So having the revolter is really nice, but if you switch out to the frozen snowshoe, you'll lack in damage. And so that's pretty much the end of the video. I'm going to show the Wotan kiln now, and have a magnificent day.
Light that giant bastard up!
That's the spirit. You're already dead. You know that, right?